Hey guys, I'm going to show you some techniques on holding lower on train, or just integral in general, the B bomb site. And starting off here, I'm going to show you guys a good nade set to control the choke point of inner, which is right here. So I'm going to show you guys a smoke flash nade combo that a lot of teams use, and it's pretty effective. And I'm going to show examples at the end of the video, guys, with a lot of the stuff I talk about here. So going straight into it, you'll want to throw the smoke from far away. Right like this on the right hand side, and it's going to land right there. And you know, the reason you're going to throw it from far away is so it can pop as soon as possible, and it works out really well just the way it bounces out here. So it lands pretty nice right there. So it kind of blocks off anything. So if a terrorist wants to run through this and rush down the lower, he's going to be running through a smoke, and you're going to have that big advantage if you're staring into it. Secondly, we really want to, just talking about controlling this point, it's really useful if the terrorists don't cross this point and you put a lot of pressure and just don't freely give them these upper halls to work with. So going back into the nade combo here, the second one's going to be a flash on the left hand side, so you can sit right here. It doesn't flash you, but you can still be peeking and shooting, throwing a nade or whatever. And also, just because that angle is a little bit wider, that flash is a lot more effective than throwing it on the right hand side, which you wouldn't really be able to juke and continue to shoot with. So you're going to throw it on the left hand side here. You can chill right here, and as you can see, that flash is way better than the other one. So that is the flash you want to use, guys. And secondly, I've been seeing a lot of people, since the addition of this top hallway, is throwing their nades up there, since a lot more people seem to be going up there than on the bottom, since it's a little bit more safer now. Is throwing a nade just right like that, and a lot of times I've seen some really good nade damage come out of that. So coming into the nade combo here, far away, gonna smoke, gonna flash, and then quickly, a little bit faster than that, you can nade, and then after the nade, you know, throw down some spam, whatnot, and that's just a really good combo to stop the terrorists from rushing that spot. And things you can do with that setup is sometimes, you know, most of the times it's gonna be one person enter. But you can do a lot at inner if you sometimes bring two people. Like if you throw that nade combo at lower, and then this time you set a guy up at upper, and he's watching the upper run through right here while it's smoked and getting flashed. This guy can peek like this, or you can set up an upper here. So as soon as this first smoke goes away, he's kind of already up here, and just as soon as the smoke goes away, he can get some picks and then fall back. So that nade combo is just really effective. And if you are playing a good team, they will recognize your nade combo if you're always doing the same thing. So sometimes you'll want to switch it up. Sometimes bring a teammate at inner and say, hey, just double nade inner with me. So this time you guys will both just double nade right off the bat and then just post up. Or sometimes you can just both rush inner like this, and then two of you just post up with absolutely no nades, and see if they peek you. If one person peeks you here and there's two of you just sitting right there, that's a free easy kill for the CTs here, and then they can just back off. So there's a lot of different things that you can switch up randomly. Like I just said, you can double nade instead of smoking and then flashing. Another really good thing that's always good to do, let's see here, is this used to be a lot more effective on the other one without that upper hallway. But this is still really effective to shoot feet here, and if you pull this out at the right time, it can give you a lot of free kills. So even spotting it from down here and spotting feet is really good. You can get 2 leg shots as a kill, so it's really good to do still, whether it be from right here or down a little bit further. So pulling that out at the right time as well is really useful, and a lot of teams still do that, definitely. A good spot that I saw a couple players play was right here, and it's really hard to see that guy, especially if you are using a silent Sim 4. That's where his head would be, right there. So this guy really has a pretty big jump, and your lower is open. You can either communicate with a teammate to watch your lower with an op or whatever, even a rifle right here, or you can kind of guess when they're going to come down lower. Most of the time you can stare at upper until you hear some nade work over here, because a lot of times people won't just go down inner, walk down inner with absolutely nothing. A lot of times they'll run at least if they're not going to throw anything. So you can kind of always just check it if you're nervous about it, and then go back and, you know, check it again and go back. But a lot of times you can kind of, the teams will choreograph their hit, so you'll be ready for it. And then, you know, once teams start hitting their smokes off, you know, down here, you'll want to leave this spot, because then you'll be exposed to like too many spots at once, and a really good back off spot is what I'm trying to get to, is to play back here. You can really wiggle around this thing, fight lower, block upper, you know, get some kills, get a guy climbing a ladder, and then block lower, and then fight upper. It's a really good fallback spot. A really good fallback spot. You could even start there if you really wanted, you know. As soon as your smoke goes away from the start here, you know, as soon as that goes away, then you can fall back into a more passive setup and something like that. And playing on top of oil here can be really good if you do it well. In the past, you could flash right off the corner there, but now you even can just right-click and throw a pretty good counter flash just like that. Just simply right-clicking. It's really good to play kind of on the back side of the train here, so only your head's showing. And other than just your head showing, so I mean, only your head would be showing there, so it'd be kind of hard to see you. If you are standing here, they do see your whole body, but I mean, I guess they only see your feet at the start, so it's kind of, you know, take what you want. You can play up close like this. I've seen some people play back further. I prefer back further just because if they do throw some good flashes on you, such as, you know, pop flashing you like this, if you're up close here, any flash is going to hit you on this. Any flash on this sidewalk is going to hit you. And if you're playing on the back side here, pretty much no flash hits you at all. So you're pretty much, you know, never going to get flashed if you play this position right here and you play it correctly. Counter flash. And one of the big things you should be doing or communicating with your team, as soon as they smoke lower, you should be trying your best to counter smoke them. And I know I said at the start of the round to use your smoke for this right here, but you're not, like I said, you're not always going to do that smoke every single round. And sometimes you'll have two people enter, so as soon as this smoke happens, you have your teammates smoke that, and that's something that you'll communicate. And that really, you know, cancels their strat completely. And if they want to execute, they're going to have to go through a smoke. But if you don't have a smoke, you can always, you know, counter flash, delay them like this. Watch your ass and upper, watch lower. And a lot of the times when this is smoked, if you are a guy that's playing Pop Dog up here, you'll have your teammate come and go in that one position I showed you earlier, which is right here, and pretty much watch your upper, while this guy was to watch his lower, if he was still, you know, still up here doing his thing. So that's a little bit more on inner. Another spot that you can do is actually right up here. It's a really good spot. I even saw Snacks smoke it like this, kind of counter smoking lower like that, playing up here. It's just a really sick spot. It might take some time for you to learn how to jump up here because it is kind of difficult. You can't just like go like this. You have to be, the technique of making this jump, as I'm purposely not making it right now, is to be completely still in the air once you're about to hit that. So, you know, you're jumping and then boom, you press your S key so that you drop down like you completely lose all your momentum and then you just drop down. That seems to be the way to make it. So I mean, I did it that way as well, and all I did was I'm strafing to the right, and then as soon as I strafe back to the left, you know, I'm hitting my opposite key, and then boom, I'm completely still in the air and I fall onto the platform. So you can do it like this as well. Oh, I missed it that time. Whoops. I mean, you can do it that way. So if you're coming here, you could press your S key as soon as you get in the air. But I prefer to do the strafe technique where you kind of go up on the wall. And once again, it is kind of difficult to learn at first. But you want to make sure that you just stick on these guys here, and you can get right up here. That's a really good spot if you can pull it off, and it can definitely win you around, hands down, especially if you're running the silencer. So that's just a couple tips on inner, guys. I hope that helps you. The reason I chose train is because it's the match of the week, or map of the week for ESEA. So in the future, look forward to more map of the weeks on the ESEA schedule. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, here's Get Right throwing his nade combo. We got a smoke on the right hand side, nade or flash left, Gonna throw that nade. He's gonna get some really good damage here from the nade and from him spraying through. Gets two of them pretty low. And then he's gonna go back to that spot I showed you before. And he's gonna hang out there. The terrorists start executing here. His teammates in the back watching his lower right now, actually. As soon as they start executing, he falls back to the back of sight, since that spot he was at is kind of vulnerable from the lower spot. Falls back, and that's, you know, that plays out there. Going again, he's gonna throw this combo, get some good damage. And don't get that much damage this round, but goes ahead and flashes upper right away since his team has been kind of hitting fast, and that pretty much stopped the strat completely there. And this spot is really hard to get flashed. As you can see, it's got to be pretty much a perfect flash. Here is them setting up lower, two of them staring the whole time with just a single smoke thrown. And here's Snacks jumping up real fast, zoomed in. Nothing really happens here, jumps up, smokes the pole. But if they were to hit, it would have been a really great position. Here is Zeus smoking lower, and then here is VP counter smoking. And it's really good to do, pretty much stops any kind of execution that was going to happen there. And the guy that actually smoked that for him actually left the site.